Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We've got live tournament action coming at you right now. It is VIP and Spades. This is going to be a phenomenal Pro Toss versus Terran. Actually, one of my more anticipated matches for the evening. Lucky we were picking it up on day one of this month's AGL-Invitational. I do have Wendy on the line with me. Wendy, how are you doing this evening?
Doing fantastic, my good sir. We do have the one and only Spades spawning in the northeast location on GSL's Crevasse. Does have that backdoor expansion. And in the northwest location, we have the one and only VIP, a very, very important Protoss. See what I did there?
Yes,
throwing down his pylon in the middle of the map. Could be going for the Nexus first. I really would not be surprised to see if any of these players go for a very macro-intensive build. That's indoor expansion allows you to be extra safe with it. You can go ahead and get up some sentries to do some force fields and delay any kind of Terran pushes that might be coming.
Right.
And likewise, Terran just go ahead and wall themselves off because, you know, that's overpowered. But hey, why not? So as a Protoss player yourself, Knack, what would you do?
You know, moving forward here, I do expect to see him take a relatively early expansion. Probably, I don't think, actually, that VIP is going to rush it. I expect to see him take it between 4.5 and 5.5 minutes here, which is not super fast when it comes down to it. And, well, I'm probably going to see him go for double gas fairly early, get up those sentries, get himself up defensively so that any early aggression is going to be no trouble to deal with. Spades, on the other hand, now that's going to be the question. He has been such an interesting player for us to watch. He's relatively new to the Alt-Starcraft scene, I should say, but has just got this methodical air about him where he just takes it as it comes, gets great scouts out, and just finds the exact counter that he needs and goes for it. Such a phenomenal player. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm saying we see him deal with early pressure so well all the time, and it looks like VIP taking that Nexus first, going and got that 15 Nexus, Gateway going down right away. Spades, however, has gotten gas first, and this could go very well in his favor if you were to go for some kind of maybe a Marauder play or even a Reaper play, because he will be able to do a lot of damage to the Protoss player, because guess what? He has nothing out whatsoever.
I'm interested that VIP did go Nexus first here. I mean, in a lot of circles, this is considered cheesy. And so, but he is going for it here, and a little bit of a risk, I'd say, as he moves forward. But if he is able to hold it, it pays off in a very, very big way. He's going to pick up a nice economic lead here because of that. But just the one gas out for Spades at this point, and he is going for a fast factory, which could mean we're going to see a 1-on-1. And I don't know. I'm interested to see.
I'm interested in this macro cheese you talk about so lovingly. The one bad thing for Spades is going to scout his opponent last, meaning that he will see that his opponent has gotten Nexus first very, very late, well before he can do anything about it. Had he scouted that, he'd be able to send over those 2 Marines and just start raining havoc upon the economy or the probes and just being overall a nuisance to VIP. You've seen in other games in the AGL tournaments where, if I can remember one where Lobber was bunker rushed by Manq when he went Nexus first on Crevasse and pretty much lost the game due to a bunker being his base pretty much the whole entire game.
Exactly.
So unfortunate for Spades, does get out that starport, has 2 gas. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably going to be Banshees at this point in time.
Yeah, it has to be at this point. Banshee's going to be a nice play here if he does catch VIP off guard, because he took that Nexus first, it does slow down his tech, which is going to slow down his detection as he moves forward. He's tossing down 2 more gateways right now, which is great timing there. But we do get the scout in, and he's behind right now on units. Because of that long scouting distance for Spades, I mean, VIP could have had out a sentry already to block that guy from coming up the ramp. Should have been able to take that guy out, but because he rushed that Nexus, he finds himself getting scouted here. And I think Spades is going to react appropriately. I think that he's going to start to put some serious pressure on his opponent because of it. And a 1-1-1 is a great way to do that. Notice we do have our cloaking field already on the way. 5.5 minutes in.
Yeah, Cloak Banshees is a great answer to any kind of Nexus first build, especially this kind of Cloak Banshee, which really doesn't add any add-ons to the factory or the barracks. So it means he can very easily expand out of it.
Right.
He may have to cut production out of his barracks, and you can see that he's making nothing out of his factory. So when these Banshees do come out, Robo is on its way. It's still got to be built, still got to make an observer. So it's going to be a very, very small timing window. Is there any anti-air for VIP, though? Only 2 sentries, and those don't fare well against Banshees. They go down very, very quick.
Right, now he is grabbing his robotics. Now this could potentially save him. Getting out the observer is absolute key here, since we do have these guys coming in that are going to be cloaked. Good old Banshees.
First one is out, sending its way over, cloaked about 70% done, so it's going to be a little bit before it gets over. We'll have to see if VIP chrono boosts out that observer. Don't forget, that observer cannot be in 2 places at once, so once 2 Banshees are out, It's going to be difficult.
Keep them split, and we've seen this type of play from Spades before. He's got such phenomenal control over his units. Here comes that first Banshee, and it's going to get off a good couple kills here before these Stalkers are in position to take care of it, and it's about to be cloaked as well.
Yep, and there goes the cloak. Observer is not out, just popping out now. You'll be able to do a little bit extra damage, up to 5 kills on that. It needs to be careful, though, because once that Observer comes out, his Spades could be in a really tight spot. He realizes that his Banshee is for forfeit, and just go ahead and pick off as many probes as he can. I think he got 7 probes altogether.
Not bad.
Not a bad exchange at all. And the second Banshee is on its way over, and more Banshees are being made. So what Spades should really do at this point is wait until his opponent, his other Banshee's out, and then attack in 2 places at once. It's going to be his best bet to do some guaranteed damage. However, the Observer for VIP is now going across the map to the Terran space. Another one is being warped in as well, with an Immortal queued up behind it. Interesting choice for the Immortal, considering the fact that there is not a single armored unit out on the field for Spades. Maybe a little bit of an oversight from VIP, expecting there to be a tank push behind this. Maybe even a 1-base all-in. Gonna go ahead and scout it.
VIP could be going for Immortal drops here. I mean, he could grab out a Warp Prism here behind his second Immortal or something like that. Go for some Immortal drops. They're not a bad deal. Doing damage to a Terran's economy is really key for a Protoss here who might be stuck on 2 base for a little while, because at this point he's got to consider himself behind.
Yep, and here comes the second Banshee into the back of VIP's in-base natural. However, there are 3 Stalkers, as well as an Observer there, although not in the best position, not responding quite yet. Spades trying to get in the best possible area to go ahead and do some damage, and he will not be safe if he gets onto those high ground. The Observer there will allow those Stalkers to see up there. Other Banshees kind of just chilling over here in the dead space. And VIP has 2 Observers out. The great thing about Banshees is they force a lot of Observers, and not so much that Observers are a gas sink or a mineral sink, they're a time sink. Meaning that Colossi can't be built, Mortals, Warp Prisms, they can't be built. And that's what you really want to do with Banshees, is kind of force more and more Observers to be out. Right. And he's already forced 2 Observers. I think one was killed off in the base, and he has 2 more back home. So it looks like there's going to be a total of 3 Observers pushed out. And that's a lot of time wasted. They don't build very quick.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, and we see a lot more gateways going down here, as well as the robotics bay, and he's got a lot of upgrades going down. He's grabbing Blink out here, which is a smart play. Going to help him really deal with anything coming into his base. That harassment's going to start to really fall behind there. Looks like Spades is going to try and poke back in here once more, and hopefully he'll be able to get a decent amount of damage done, because he is actually a little bit behind in the supply count there, and that's definitely a point of concern.
Yeah, he's definitely falling behind the supply. That's only because his economy is much later than that. Although he does have his 3rd up, whereas his opponent doesn't even have his 3rd started. Right. So once that, for the very least, the command center will be used for the mules to get a little bit extra mineral income to maybe get a few more barracks. Stim and Combat Shield both being researched, be done in the next minute or so. Raven is out as well, and that'll really help against any Observers that are coming to the base. It's pretty much going to make him unscoutable. Yeah. So it's going to be tough for the Protoss player, although he does have his first Colossi being warped in. It's extended thermal lances on the way, and +1 ground weapons and armor is being done too. So that is going to be a big advantage for him as well, because I don't believe Terran only has +1 armor. And you can see there goes the Observer trying to poke in, will not scout anything except for those 2 barracks that were researching Combat Shield and Stim. So pretty good play there. Now some medevacs possibly being loaded up. Questionable?
I think so. I don't know. I think he may end up going for some drops here. He's probably going to give it a little while. He wants to. His opponent did scout it, so he wants to probably let his opponent think that he may not be going for drops, just mixing him into the army and try and catch him off guard here in just a little bit. Because right now, VIP is going to be on heightened awareness, and probably should be able to deal with any drops. But it looks like we may see him moving out down to the low ground first, and he's going to take that 3rd. This is great timing for Spades. He's going to have it up slightly ahead of VIP here, but VIP getting his down as well. And he's got a lot of Zealots out here for defense with those Colossus, and that's going to be really nice composition against this heavy infantry army for Spades. However, Spades does have some Vikings in the mix here, and that's going to be a big deal against
absolutely.
Colossus.
And with the Raven out, which almost has 200 energy, 2-point defense drones going down, it's going to do a wonder for an engagement if there are if Stalkers start to make their way into this composition, simply because they will be able to soak up shots, prevent the Vikings from being taken down quickly, allowing them to go to work on the Colossi without fear of being attacked, and just basically really forces a difficult engagement for the Protoss player. It kind of makes them question, do I want to engage here with the point defense drones and just try to overtake them with a quick attack? or do I want to back out and get into that perfect position, get the force fields I need, and really do the damage that I need to do to win this game? So that's the Ravens becoming more and more popular in the unit compositions, and it's a great thing to add if you transition out of the 1-1-1 play.
Yeah, I agree. And so many times do we see Terrence really getting this nice unit composition out these days. Nice new metagame, I think. And VIP did sneak an observer in here. He's seen what's going on, seeing more barracks going down, which is good intel for him, as well as he sees an armory, so he knows what's up there. I don't think he saw the Thor in the army quite yet, but he's got to assume that that's what the armory is for. But we've got 2 Thors now in this army, and this is a great unit composition for Spades.
Oh, don't forget that you need the armory for +2, +2, and +3 weapons and armor, so it could simply just be for that. The Thor is actually a really smart addition to the thing. It does a lot of damage. It takes a lot of damage. They really get good against Colossi. This is really interesting unit composition from Spades, and I do like it. It's a smart choice.
It takes all the strengths of a mass Marine Marauder army versus Protoss, and it takes away the weaknesses, which is its non-tankability. And adding those Thors in does give it that sustainability, I think, there. And he's going to be able to withstand a lot more damage from these charge lots and these Colossus as he does go for an engagement. But right now, VIP is moving around the map with his extremely large force here. Charge lots, Colossus, and Immortals. What a nice composition. Oh, he's going to take out the rocks here for a 4th base. In the meantime, we've got a Cloaked Banshee about to die. Go ahead, Windy. You're about ready to say something.
It's interesting that good choice from the VIP to go ahead and take that 4th over there. It's very far away from the Terran base, but it's close enough that he can defend it. And now here comes this Banshee coming over. No observers in position. Going to go ahead and start going to town on these probes. And at this point in time, this is damage that you do not need as a Protoss player. Right. This is going to be your go time. I think that Banshee got off maybe another 5 or so kills, and that's pretty significant.
It is indeed very significant. We do have some Archons coming out on the field. That Observer for VIP still kicking it in the base of Spades, getting great intel, but no new base from Spades quite yet. Looks like he is going to put down one right now. We'll see if we
2 actually.
Fly that out. Oh, 2. That's great. Where's the other one?
Yeah. Same. One's in the south of the base, one's in the east of the base, and that's a good decision. Now, this is a really interesting unit composition. Not a lot of medevacs in here. There are ghosts. There's 6 ghosts in here, 18 marauders, and about 36 marines, and 4 Thors. I'm really curious about the Thors. Maybe Spades is onto something in this composition, because going against that Colossi Deathball that's very heavy on the Zealots, maybe there's something that he knows that I don't. But I've never really thought Thor's to fare well in the PvT matchup, but we'll see. There's only 1 Immortal in this composition for the Protoss player. Or excuse me, there's 3. Oh, there's 3. Yeah. 3 of them.
But still, I mean, that may not be enough. Spades is taking the center of the map. He does see all this movement here, and he may end up catching him off guard. But look at that! Those ghosts die almost immediately. They did get off a couple EMPs before, but this engagement is very interesting, and Spades taking an early lead here in the supply count.
Yeah, Spades in a very broken up engagement, not engaging in the best way possible. These 2 Thors, look how much damage they do tank. Yeah. And VIP going to try and run away, maybe do some extra damage into the base of Spades, but perhaps just escape out this southern route. And Spades coming out on top. I'm kind of surprised he did so well. You can see the point defense drones were thrown down. They did soak up a lot of damage for the Vikings, and you can see 2 survive, all the Colossi went down, and all the medevacs survived as well. So Spades are retaining a good amount of his valuable units, especially the medevacs. The medevacs is less of an expensive unit, so much as a unit that you need to retain, because it's just like the Observer, it takes up build time. It's more valuable for it's the time it takes to build than it's actually worth.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's such a great point.
Big Marauder drop about to go out. 12 Marauders rolled up in the medevacs. Good decision to go ahead and hit the back of this base here. They will be able to snipe this Nexus so quickly, especially with +2 weapons done.
Well, he's taking advantage of the fact that VIP doesn't have the map control necessary here, and he did scout it right now, warping in very, very quickly, and he did warp in a couple high temps. But these guys are going to drop and demolish a good old forward pylon. Yes, he's going to have to back out here pretty quick, because here comes VIP.
Space has to be quick. Here comes the Stalkers. They do have blinks, so they will blink in, although there is against Marauders. He should have waited for the rest of the army to get up there.
Yep.
Now Space is going to be able to kite back with this concussive shells, get there. I'm surprised he's not bringing the rest of his army. There he goes, now bringing it over. Medevacs do go down, but he still has a few more back home to hit up those Marauders. And really interesting play out of Spades. The Thors are, you can see his unit retention is very good. He's investing in the Thors, but they're worth their weight. They've stayed alive this entire time. They've killed off a okay number amount of units, not enough, but they're there really to soak up damage. They're really good meat shields.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's so true. He is at +3, about to be +3, I would assume. He doesn't have +3 armor on for his infantry up quite yet. He's going to go ahead and destroy these rocks. It's time for him to start taking bases. He is a little bit behind on taking his 4th base here. And but good idea to go ahead and get that done, and whenever possible, you know what I mean? The quicker the better. But right now we're about back up to maxed out. And do you like the composition currently from VIP? I mean, he's only got the 2 Colossus in here, and he's very heavy on charged lots.
I think it's a good decision considering charged lots are actually pretty good against Thors if they can get against them, because Thors do a lot of damage, but they're attack very slowly.
Right.
So it's tough, and they do a high amount of damage, so they're not really cost-effective against the Zealots. But that command center trying to land over, but taking down the half health by the Stalkers and Archons in the mix. I do like the fact that he has 2 Archons, 2 Colossi, and he's kind of
goodness. VIP let his army get split, and he wasn't even on a move there, so he is going to take some losses here. Wow.
Yeah, and this could be a good chance for Spades to go at least secure his 4th, or at the very least do a lot of damage to his opponent. That Colossi will or will not get picked off. He has no High Templar in this composition, though, and that's going to be a really big problem. Good thing for Spades engaging in this choke, not going to let the Zealots get up too close to the bulk of his army. You can see the Thors in the back doing a good amount of damage. Point defense turn does go down. The Raven barely survives, and I think that Spades, Spades is going ahead and clean this up, and VIP is now behind by 50 supply, and that is very, very big at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it was a blunder. It came down to him letting his army get split up and get caught off guard, out of position, and now Spades is going to secure that base as quickly as he possibly can. He's going to go ahead and destroy this forward pylon that's been so pesky for so long, and VIP forced to back out and play defensively here for the time being.
Yeah, the only saving grace for VIP is he's had his 4th up for so much longer than Spades that he's going to have the economy to back it up. His main is mined out, but he does have that 4th. His in-base natural is getting low, and his 3rd is looking pretty healthy. So, but he's very he's at 71 probes. It's not terribly low.
All right. Now we do see VIP making a slight transition here. He's going to grab down 2 more robotics. I expect to see him pumping out a lot of Immortals now to go along with his Colossus, because there's so many Marauders and so many Thors in this army. Immortals are a perfect choice here. I think this is a great idea for VIP to give a shot at, and it could potentially turn the tide of this for him in a defensive position. Maybe not so much offensively, but if he does get a good defensive engagement going with the right amount of Immortals, he could potentially take down this army. But look how many Thors are here now. Windy, look how many Thors.
That is what you call a gaggle of Thors.
Yeah,
like
I mean, 5 Thors in that army is a heck of a lot. Now he's got plenty of ghosts here as well, and still pumping out Marauders as quickly as he can. Scanning here, he sees what's going on. Archons here they're a good choice against these Marauders, but if we get too many EMPs down on these guys, it's going to nullify them. And here goes the engage.
Viking's going to work on the Colossi. Colossi go down very quick. Not a lot of Stalkers here. Only a few good number of Archons, but there's not a lot of Bile left, so those Archons are not going to do so great against those Thors. Although now landing the Vikings for Spades, he needs to do this. Thors all do go down. Actually, one gets picked off and carried away by the medevacs, and VIP taking that engagement for the first time. That's big. That is a big win. Spades is behind the base. His 4th has not been up for nearly as long as VIP, and VIP could fairly easily take a 5th.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what it looked like there? I just don't think Spades got the EMPs off that he needed to. I saw 1 or 2 go down, and that was it. And then his ghost just disappeared somehow. And I mean, it was a nice play there from VIP. I think he really planned that that defense out well. I was surprised how effective the Archons were there. I honestly thought the EMPs were going to nullify so many of those Archons, but I guess he spread them out well enough where that made a big difference.
Yeah, it can be really, really tough to get EMPs in the heat of battle because it's so hard to see where your opponent's units are versus yours. Because you don't want to EMP your own ghost. You can do that. And you don't want to EMP your own medevacs or Thors if you're using that barrage. I don't think anybody, or the strike cannons, I don't think anybody ever gets the strike cannons. Right. I've never ever seen that upgrade research. I would like a few tanks added into Spade's mix. They can be very, very good for controlling space against a Protoss player. You will see that occasionally from some Terran players.
Well, and they're actually quite good against all of the gateway units, too.
Yeah, well, this, Zealots especially, they can just soften them up. Especially if you can get EMPs on them, you will do a lot more damage.
That's so true. And now we've got a lot more Archons coming in. Looks like VIP is going to be committing very heavily to this Archon play.
I don't like the fact he doesn't like Storm. He doesn't have Storm. That's at this point in time, that's a kind of a blunderous thing to not have. And it's definitely going to hurt his attacks because there is a significant number of Bioforces. Storms are still pretty good against Thors. They do a good... about like a good portion of damage to them. They do have 400 health, and the storms do 80 damage over an area.
Yeah,
so
I mean it's a fair amount of damage, as well as the storms clear out the bio units so quickly. and then he can start putting together the Archons right away, and that tends to be your best play there. But I mean, he's not in bad position, but he has allowed Spades to remax an army here. Spades did secure 2 more bases. Looks to be okay economically as he moves forward here, and is going for the same play once again. A lot of Marauders, good amount of Ghosts, and 3 Thors now in this army. I just think that VIP might have this one pegged, though. I mean, he's got still 3 Colossus in this army, and that's a lot of Archons.
Yeah, a lot of Archons going to do a lot of work to the battle forces. Good engagement for VIP. Ghosts going down so quick. Yeah, great EMPs. Colossi going to work. Vikings not really engaged far up enough to do this. Good Immortals in there. They will do quick work of those Thors. I've only a few Marauders left. 1 Colossi does remain standing. Vikings now starting to focus fire down, and all that's left is Vikings and Medevacs. Those Medevacs will get sent home, but those Vikings will fight off to their death. And VIP is now left with a pretty good-sized army, going to be able to charge in a Spade space. Only a Thor back here to really help him out to defend. Right. And unfortunately, you cannot heal Thors with them Medevacs. Although, if you could. If only, Knack. If only,
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just a small force.
Caught off. If that Archon gets it, oh my God. All those SCVs going down.
Yeah, that's quite a loss at this point. He can't. Something that he can't afford.
And that's going to tip off Spades toward other bases. He's just probably going to send over a couple. You have a couple of Zealots who can go ahead and chase after those SCVs. And he's going to see that there's another base down here, and that's going to be a big problem for Spades now.
Right. Spades is trying to head down that way, wants to try and defend his 2 main mining bases at this point, which I think is the smart play, but that's going to open up the gateway essentially right to the front door, and it looks like VIP is going to bide his time, remax an army here, and start pushing towards the front and go for the unit producing structures, go for the kill. I think it's a great play. I mean, we've got right now he's clearing out the mineral lines of Spades, and Spades is starting to hurt a little bit economically here. He does have a lot of minerals out on the field, but
and VIP is coming to engage down here at this 5th base, wants to catch Spades out of position, which is a great decision. He will be able to trap him into the spot. It's not where Spades wants to be fighting. He wants to be able to fight where his reinforcements are. Only a small portion of Spades' army here is going to go ahead and get very easily picked off. Medevac's trying to do what they can. They're even going to go down. And now Spades is really on the ropes here. Doesn't have many options left. Down by almost 50 food. And I just don't think he can really come back. He doesn't have the production back at home. He doesn't have enough barracks to sustain the economy that he has. Right. If he had thrown down maybe 4 or 5 more barracks in additional, and he only has, I believe, only 1 starport? No, 2 starports. And he hasn't made any nukes. I think if he started nuking to always control areas and ward Protoss away, he'd be in a lot better position.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's how you gain your positions, is by using those nukes. You can force your Protoss opponent to engage where you want to, and that's what he needs at this point. And right now he's suffering. But the interesting thing to me is how many ghosts he has in his army. I mean, look how many ghosts there are. That's 9 ghosts in his army. It might be a little bit of overkill, especially considering he's not able to get quite enough of those EMPs off. But a lot of EMPs going down here.
Archon's going to work right in the front line. Great.
He's going to run right through this, though.
Oh yeah, great unit layout from VIP. Had his Zealots and Archons up front, Starkers in the midline with the Sentries, and the Colossi and the Mortals in the back, and that's exactly what you need. And Spades is going to have to GG. Going on to game number 2.
Beautifully done. Nice to see VIP back in the mix. It's been a while since we've seen him play. Spades, however, it was a kind of a sad deal to see him lose game number 1, but it is best of 3. We'll be seeing him in game number 2. Will he be his map choice? And we'll check you guys in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We have got Game 3 here between Spades and VIP coming at you. It's a phenomenal matchup so far. And I did not get to see game number 1, so we're going to have to cast that from replay. But apparently, Spades did take down game number 1. Game number 2 going to VIP, and here we do find ourselves in the ace match.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good match. Yeah, it's going to be good. And the winner of this is going to go play D-Docs from E-Frag. A lot of guys from the E-Frag community are watching the stream chat, and I'm so happy to oblige them. It's tough. It's very, very tough to jump around tournaments. You can kind of see how we came into game 2 and we didn't even know it. Right. It's sometimes easier to follow players, so it's not a disrespect for anybody else. But, we're just trying to cast games, get people what they want. So, by all means, we'll be more than happy to cast an E-Frag member. They are great guys.
Yeah, and do remember to come out tomorrow and the next day. We're going to be casting those replays from the other matches that we're missing tonight. So what you can do is, if you're on the stream, I will be asking people what matches do you want to see. Here are your choices, and you guys can pick what matches you want. So it's a great way for you to get the exact match that you're looking for. But VIP is going to be our blue Protoss player up here in the top right-hand corner. They're going to be spawning in cross positions here. And Spades, purple Terran down here in the bottom left. He's currently working on a wall off. It looks like VIP going for a standard opener. He does have that gateway going down. So moving into Game 3, I mean, the ace match, the pressure's starting to mount. Both of these players do want to stay in the winner's bracket. So I expect relatively safe play out of both of these guys. Do you think anybody's going to take a risk here, Wendy?
I'm going to say both players are going to go ahead and play very standard games. You can see that Spades hasn't taken a gas yet, so he probably will go for that 1 Rax gas expand. No proxies out or anything like that. And VIP hasn't given him any opportunities to go ahead and do some kind of bunker pressure, so I'm going to say pretty standard games. Given the fact that VIP has taken the last game, he's going to have a little bit more momentum over Spades. He did come back from a deficit, so it's always got a big morale booster for the player who comes back and ties it up, you know?
Right. Yeah, I agree, and we do have our Cyber Core gone down for VIP. No second gas quite yet, so not going to see any super fast tech out of him. Just playing standard like we were saying, and it looks like Spades, I don't know what he's gearing up for. It looks like he might go for his expansion right now.
Don't see what else he could possibly do. He's going to have the minerals in just a second here. Does he have... Yep, there he goes. Wants to get as close as possible to the low ground. And no bunker out. He's really skimping on units. He's only made 2 Marines. The 3rd is on the way, and he's focusing heavily on SCVs. I do like this. He kind of probably has a good read on his opponent that he's not going to go for any kind of aggressive play. But VIP is chrono boosting on the Stalker rather than his warp gated probe. So it could be...
Yeah,
he could have a good read. Yeah, and there goes the engineering... Yeah. Engineering Blade does go down to block the expansion of VIP, so that will do it. Here comes the Stalker out. They will be able to pick off the ZSCV. Oh, walked away there for a moment, but now coming back to go ahead and pick it off. And Spades is going to try and just let that die, get as much health built up on that engineering bay. And here comes the Zealot over to that. Probe is going to poke up, see nothing but that barracks. Did he see that expansion? Yes, he did. So he does. VIP is now fully aware that what his opponent is doing, and I assume once he gets this engineering bay down, he will go ahead and get his Nexus up. And the beauty of this engineering bay, Knack, why don't you tell people what's so great about putting this engineering bay? How exactly does it put the Protoss player behind?
Well, the engineering bay actually is one of the fastest completing relatively high HP buildings in the game. It completes extremely quickly, so it has a high rate of adding HP to its baseline there. And that's exactly what you want to be able to block. So it gives you a lot of HP very, very fast. It gives you time to evac your SCV and go from there. But yeah, it's a wonderful thing to do, a great trick, and that's why you'll see that over just about any other building built by a Terran player.
Mm-hmm. And here comes a bit of a Protoss pressure from VIP. 2 Zealots and a Stalker. There are a lot of Marines up here, but these units are going to be able to take a good amount of damage. And it looks like that 1 Stalker is getting down to very low shields. That Zealot nearly dead. Yeah. And these Marines are going to be able to at least force these units out. But these Stalkers will be able to kite these Marines for some time, although that 1 Stalker is getting very, very low.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. But he is keeping him in a forward position. I like this from VIP. That's going to, number one, it's going to enable him to see any movement out of his opponent's base, and that's exactly when he needs to know, because he is playing this on the cuff just a little bit. He's a little bit shy on his unit production structures. He's just now starting to beef that up, tossing down 2 more gateways to join that robo. So we've got a 3-gate robo here. His second base is about to be complete, and he's going to have a rockin' economy if he continues to play this right. But Spade's taking that orbital command already down, already getting saturated there in a great style. I mean, this is a nice play from Spades, and he's about to have a bunker. Very defensible position at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for VIP to break this time anytime soon. He only just now getting up his 2 additional gateways. So still got about another 20 seconds or so to warp in. Observer being warped in as well from the robo to see what is going on inside Spades base. And there's nothing but super standard Terran going on. Stim being researched, combat shields sure to follow, as well as the custom shells. Considering he's getting Stim, do you think he's going to be aggressive with that? I mean, that's pretty much a telltale sign. If you get combat shield, you're going to be a little bit more defensive, try to put pressure. Do you think he's just going to try and go for a timing push with that Stim?
I think we'll probably see a drop out of him, actually, to be honest. He's just now putting down a factory, and I think that he's going to go for those medevacs here fairly shortly, and we'll probably see him go for a couple Stim drops, which are fairly effective. Try and catch VIP a little bit off guard, keep him stuck on the T-base longer than he wants to be. And that type of play is exactly what Spades needs to be doing here, is trying to pick VIP apart, make VIP feel uncomfortable, taking another expansion or moving out across the map. He wants to feel kind of stuck. And that's, I think, how Spades might try and make this go forward. But we got a great scout from VIP coming through. He did scout the factory going down. I do expect to see that starport go down here immediately after the factory is done. What are you thinking here, though, for VIP? I mean, he's starting to pick up a pretty nice little lead, and he's
that observer almost came into the view of that turret, and now Spades is going ahead and push out a little bit. You can see VIP rearranging his units to get them away from the watchtowers, and you want to do that for two reasons. A lot of people don't pick up on this, but for the lower leagues out there, the reason that VIP moved his units away, he didn't want Spades to know that he had to control the watchtowers and is coming, because if that allows VIP to get in a position to take on this this little bio ball that Spades has roaming around the map. If he can get it in good engagement, he will. If he can, he'll just back out, force field, and keep the army away. So you can see how giving up vision and map control can actually work in your favor.
Right.
In these particular circumstances. It really depends on where you are. Oh, I can totally take that army. I'm going to move away, let him think that he now has map control and vision, and just come and steamroll him with my unit composition. Right. It's all about getting that scout. Thermal Lance is going to be done in the next 40 seconds or so. 2 Colossi are out. A third is on the way. Now, what's so great about that scout that VIP got earlier with the observer is he saw exactly when medevacs were coming out. He saw that the factory is about nearly complete, and doesn't really have to be in his guard for about another 20 seconds for any kind of drop play, and that's at the earliest. So he's going to be in good thing. He's even coming back in again with the observer, going to see that the starport is just now. Oh, he might even see that third going down, and he in fact does.
This is great scouting from VIP. He's also got that other observer watching the ramp. I mean, he's really controlling the map here, which is phenomenal play from him and exactly what he needs to be doing. And I love the DPS choice right now that he's got. He's got those Colossus out on the field. Is Spades going to be switching into Viking?
And VIP will see those medevacs going out if he's paying close attention. 2 medevacs just went out from the runner's ramp. Good position on that observer. And there you go, VIP getting his units in position. You can see Spades, this drop is going to be pretty much ineffective. Might even lose it if he's not careful. And what is he doing with all these Colossi and Zealots? He's going ahead and take a third. He's cleaning up that Marine that was kind of sitting there to watch it. Probably Spades has a good idea that's gone down. And did these players agree to a 20-minute no rush rule prior to this game?
I don't think so.
Because we've lost 100 resources. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a good possibility, but players can have those packs, I guess, if they want. But here comes your drop. Spades notices that he is ready and waiting for it, and does reroute those medevacs immediately. Looks like he's going to try and skirt it here, but VIP's got vision here. I think he should be able to note this and will react accordingly.
Yep, we'll see his medevacs has Zealous in position. Does have chronoing double upgrades, +2/+2 on the way. Spades, he does see the one forward, so he will at least know where his opponent is on the upgrade count, noticing that one forward was being chrono boost if he's paying attention. So if Spades is using at least these medevacs for their scouting information, he should be in a better position than he was prior to that, because at least he got information for free and he didn't really lose anything, and he can just let those 2 medevacs hang back there for a while, and it's going to force VIP to keep his units up here, and maybe he can go ahead and pressure the front or even the third.
That's true. That's a great point. Yeah, with all of these units, so many units up in the main, pressuring the third is a great idea. We do have some units moving out right now. Notice that Spades did commit to quite a few Vikings. He's going to be fairly effective against that couple Colossus he's got out on the field, but it looks like VIP is going to be moving forward. He did scout that movement with his observers and is going to try and get himself in position to deal with this. He wants to defend his third. Such a smart play here. Spades taking his third behind this, so a little bit behind on getting that out. But up to the ramp he goes, and you know what? This would be a great time for VIP to attack.
Yep, and here he goes. Does attack. Vikings in a good position to take out the Colossi on the high. Although the Stalkers do blink over, and the Colossi continue to rain down upon the Bile Forces. Vikings doing this a little bit of work, although there's only 3 left, and 2 Colossi, although one is very much close to dying. 1 Colossi left, but all the Bile Forces plus the Vikings clean up for Spades. Wow. And now VIP has a big food advantage, although a third does go down for Spades at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's way ahead, though. I mean, that's a big early loss here for Spades. It's still early enough in the game where that's going to make a big difference. Now, he is calling down a bunch of mules, trying to get this economy rocking and rolling here. Needs to probably get some SCV transfers out of his main. It's way oversaturated, so there's some resources there being...
Yep, and that drop does come back into the main of VIP. You might be able to pick up a forge that's researching that, although he does lose a couple units. He might even lose a medevac. He does want to move back full of units, although one just get away, and that will be saved for a rainy day. You just kind of put that in your back pocket, and you say, soon.
That's right.
Soon.
Now, interestingly enough, I mean, Spades has picked up quite a following from, people who hang out with Alt-Starcraft quite a bit. Our community has really gravitated towards Spades. There's a lot of people out on the live stream rooting for him. And, this is kind of a tenuous situation for him. He's got to be careful. And I'm sure that everybody out there and seeing this that is rooting for Spades has got to know that Spades might be in a little bit of trouble. We do see a fairly large push coming out. VIP does have a pretty scary force here. Charge is about to be complete, and I assume we're going to, as soon as Charge is complete, I bet he's going to start moving in.
Yeah, but I think he sees saw the army composition with it. Observer says, okay, there's Vikings in that. I only have one Colossi. It'll go down very quickly. I don't think I want to engage into that, especially with the Ghost now out, although they do not have EMP. It looks like Mobius Reactor was not started in time to get out that EMP as soon as they are produced from those barracks. So good decision from VIP to back out. Wants to play it safe. Archons have made their way out into the field. Did he go for a Templar Archive or a Dark Shrine?
It's Templar Archive.
Is it? Yeah, Templar Archive. Still no Storm on the way. We saw this last game. He just did not get Storm.
Yeah, he just loves getting those high tabs, turning them into Archons, and away he goes. I mean, it's a great way to spend gas, but also he's got to mix that with his Colossus there. And since he's only on the 3 base right now, splitting that tech may be a little bit of a problem, but I think that he's so overwhelmingly ahead at this point, it's not really going to matter.
Yeah, he is now coming in. He's a full 30 foot ahead of his opponent, and Spades is not going to be in great position, although if those ghosts do not have EMP, if they can at least EMP the Archons, take them out, and Viking count climbing up to 7, so that'll be adequate number to deal with these 3 Colossi. Spades just really has to get in the best engagement possible to take this down. Upgrade counts 3 armor, 2 attack for the Protest player, 2-2 for the Terran. And here comes the engagement. Going to be a really good arc here.
And he's going to start blasting away here with these Colossus, man. And I can't believe how little damage these Vikings are doing, and only taking out 2 of those Colossus. The charge lots just pushing these guys back. No amount of kiting here is going to help him out. I think.
Yeah, and even a bit of a flank coming over from VIP with those Zoids. It's going to clean up the rest of these Marauders. That Colossi just standing in the middle of the line, shooting its own legs, taking out a bunch of SCVs. And here we go, a little contingency pack of Spades Army, trying to do a little bit. A few Ghost Mix in there. They do have EMP. I don't think they'll be able to do much. Yeah. And that Command Center does go down, as well as former Archons being warped in. And
this is bad.
I don't know, my friend.
It's bad news. I mean, his main is all but mined out at this point. There's only 3 mineral patches. He's oversaturated there to begin with. His natural's almost the same deal. He does not have the army to deal with this. Blink up to the high ground. VIP getting as forceful as he possibly can right now. And there it is. He says, hope you enjoyed my donation earlier. GG.
There you Spades.
Go. Awesome game. I mean, you've got to congratulate VIP for that. It was extremely well played. It is sad to see a favorite here, have to go down to the losers bracket at this point. But Spades still in the mix, though. And that's the point, is he's not out of this tournament yet. He is one of those guys that can definitely come back. So we'll be checking out some of his games eventually. But we're going to go into the next, and it is VIP versus who?
E-Frag Dedox.
Oof. Bring it on. Let's do this.